Hi, Greg. Thank you for coming in to treatment today. I'm going to remind you at this time about our confidentiality statement. And simply put, it is what's said in here, it stays in here unless you are giving us any information about any elderly abuse or neglect or any child abuse or neglect or anything of that nature, or maybe an ongoing case. Or if I feel that at any time that you may be of harm to yourself and or someone else. And then we'll get someone to assist us at that time.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, so Greg, can you tell me today why you come in to see me?
Well, I've come in because I've had a few issues that I've been dealing with.
Okay.
A bunch of irritability, um, problems sleeping at night, feeling somewhat depressed at times. Not too often, but that could have been a dial thing. But I've been depressed. But the majority of the time, it's really kind of the sleeping thing.
Okay, can you tell me what's going on with you with your sleep
Well,
pattern?
it's been going on for a while. I mean, when I mean a while, I mean some years. But it's
Okay.
been getting more and more now. It's getting a little bit more difficult.
Okay, so what is going on in your life now that hasn't been going on in the past? The reason why you feel it's getting a little bit more difficult.
There are some issues that I feel with me that as a man, most men will not bring this forward. I've been having issues with my manhood, so to say.
Okay, Greg, is this having to do with anything with your family, around your sons, your job?
Well, I have two sons.
Okay.
D, he's 18.
Mhm.
He's getting ready to go to college.
Okay.
And I have KJ. Little man. He's into basketball and he's also into drill team. With the band. He's into the military style marching.
Okay.
But and I've been married for as you may all aware of. I've been married for over 26 years.
Mhm.
And for the last really 8 to 10 years, I've been having this sleeping thing really started some 8 to 10 years ago, but it's getting worse now. But this has to do with me and my feelings as a man, in a sense of and being in touch with my feminine side. You know.
Okay. You want to elaborate on what do you mean about being in touch with your feminine side?
Funny you say that because my wife. Even though I'm a pretty fit guy, my
Right.
wife always say I have a lot of I, I'm in touch with my feminine side.
Okay.
She says that for a man to be as masculine as I am, I tend to cry at some of the most unopportune or opportune times.
No, so she's one of those that she enjoys taking you to a chick flick, in other words.
Yeah, yeah, she do that. She do that. And I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I get to them flicks and I kind of tear up just like the females do. You know,
Okay.
I don't think I should be, but I am kind of like I said, I'm kind of feeling a little bit of this coming out of me.
Greg, maybe is it a possibility um, you're experiencing sleeping issues are tied to your emotion?
That very well could be, and like I said, to me, I think I felt that I was a man born into a woman's body, or a woman born into a man's body.
Okay.
Um, and this here recently, like I say, 8 to 10 years, it's been getting stronger. The feelings like that,
Okay.
um, and it's really beginning to affect my marriage.
Okay, so Greg, let me get this straight. I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. What you're saying is over the last 8 to 10 years, you're having issues with sleeping,
Yes,
and it's affecting your marriage. And you're married for 26 years, was that?
26 years.
26 years. But just recently, in the last 8 to 10, you're really having issues because you feel like you were born into the wrong body. Is that what I'm
Yes,
understanding?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you talked to any of your family members about this issue?
I haven't talked to any of my brothers and sisters, my mother and father. And my father, that's an issue all in itself. I'd rather even bring him up.
Okay, I understand.
But
We won't talk about your father.
I have talked to a cousin of mine, and she basically said that I need to bring this out and let it be known.
Okay, is she willing to support you when?
She told me we grew up with the same age group, so we grew up together, and she supports me. And even thinking back now to say this, even back, I think about times when me and her used to play with dolls together.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it was kind of crazy, but it happened. I was just trying to help her out, but I realized now, thinking on it, that I really enjoyed that.
Enjoy playing with dolls.
Yes, I did.
Okay. What about your wife? Your religious affiliation? Where are you?
Well, I'm a Baptist.
Okay.
Um, and met my wife in Germany. Her name is Evie. She's non-denominational. You know, coming from Germany to the States is it's a different um, way of living.
Absolutely.
So she's non-denominational.
Hmm.
She's not really feeling the Baptist ways of life. She always say most Baptist ministers and most Baptist preachers, they're crooked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, Greg, if I may, is there anyone maybe at your church, in your church family, that you feel that you can sit down and talk with about this issue?
I'm pretty sure there is. It's just the whole point. Me being a man, in the field of work that I'm in, I do air conditioning refrigeration.
Air conditioning, okay.
HVAC refrigeration guy. And I feel that if I bring this out, I'll get looked down upon, and it would kind of just shatter me, and also hurt my standing within the church.
Right.
So,
And what is your standing within your church?
well, I am an ordained deacon.
Oh, okay.
So that right there, in itself, I know I would get sat down.
Right.
I like doing what I do. I like helping the youngsters. I mentor
Right.
young men, even some of the young women, because I can relate sometimes.
Okay.
So I just think that there are a couple of people I think that I can talk to, but I just kind of got to judge that as to, because I think some of those individuals may see me for who I really am.
Okay.
I just think I need to bring that out.
I understand. One of the things I'm kind of curious about is when you're talking about the fact that you feel like you were born in the wrong body, have you done anything outwardly to express this at all? Or have you let it remain pent up all this time?
It has been pent up. Now I will go back to some of my earlier years prior to me getting married. I did do a couple of things that were I thought were coming out things.
As?
You know how you get around and you start visiting bars that are primarily for the gay and lesbian,
Okay.
and I kind of filtered into that scene for a minute, and I really enjoyed doing and being in that area.
So you were comfortable
I was
there?
very comfortable. I had
Okay.
no problem in communicating with them, especially in the sense of me communicating with another male.
Okay.
You know, as far as the females go, I kind of shied away from it.
Okay. I'm curious if this conversation came up between you and your spouse, what do you think would be the outcome?
Wow, her background, I can almost guarantee you she'll probably want to get out of this marriage as fast as possible. And then again, she may not. I'm not really for sure, but I would probably bet on she want out.
Okay. Greg, can you tell me about any of your future plans that you may have?
Well, I have, of course, I'm trying to finish my degree.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple more classes and I'll be done. I want to open my own business, but me being and feeling the way I feel,
Right.
I don't think that would be. I may need to put that on the back burner for a while to see how everything works. But right now, my plan is to open my own business in the next 3 to 5 years. Get my plan together. In 5 years, start initiating the operations to open up my business.
Okay. As far as you physically, are you trying to make any changes? Or do you see yourself making any changes?
Right now, no
Okay.
changes as of yet, but it have crossed my mind.
You want to tell me about that?
Well, my wife had a tendency to buy wigs, and I just so happened to go in one time and she wasn't around, and I kind of pulled out the camcorder and set the camcorder up, and I grabbed a couple of her bras, and a little bit tight, because I got a bigger chest than she has.
Right.
But I stuffed her. I put on one of her wigs and put on some of her makeup, and I even shaved my face bald just to see how I would look as a female.
And how'd that make you feel?
I didn't like it because it wasn't the true identity that I was looking for.
So it wasn't your visual at that time, what I'm hearing you say, it didn't match how you felt on the inside. Is that
Right.
correct? So basically incongruent.
Yes.
Okay. And so have you done so recently?
Most recently it's been about 4 months ago.
About 4 months.
Yeah.
So was there any difference between 4 months ago and a couple of years ago when you did
Well,
it?
4 months ago, what I did, I went, like I said, I visited some of these bars.
Right.
And this time I went to a drag scene, and I allowed them look that I got then
Mhm.
from years ago, oh, it made me think this is who I'm supposed to be.
Okay. Do you have a name that you're more comfortable with if you were to transgender over to a woman? Is there a name that you're comfortable with?
Not necessarily. I would keep it simple because my name is Greg. I would just probably go to Georgia.
Okay.
Um, something is. I mean, because it's a simple, common name. Nothing elaborate. No big blown out pretty name that would draw a lot of attention to me. So
Right. Nothing
Georgia.
flamboyant.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I gotta keep it kind of low key. So Georgia would probably be the name.
Georgia. Okay.
Because it's the G and the. It'd be easier to.
Understandable. Greg in Georgia.
Yes.
That makes all the sense in the world. Don't know why to think about it either. So, Greg, before we wrap up today, what I want to recap to make sure I'm understanding you. Wife Eve, two boys, D and KJ.
Yes.
D is going to Texas A&M
Mm-hmm.
in the fall
Play football.
to play football. Awesome. It's going to be a great school. I went there. I love A&M.
Yeah,
KJ.
University of Phoenix, though.
I know.
Yeah.
KJ is at Liberty Island, was it?
Yes.
And he's in band.
He's in band. He's one of the drum majors there,
Runs drum majors.
but he also is in the military
ROTC.
ROTC program. They
Okay.
just initiated.
Awesome kid. He's well on his way there, huh?
Outstanding.
So the reason I brought your boys back up because I talked to you about Eve and how it may affect her. And once again, she's from Germany, non-denominational, correct? Okay. How do you think your boys will take this
Wow.
if you were to
Now,
transgender?
that right there, that'll be very difficult. Only because they looked at me because I was an athlete coming up.
Right,
I, having a military background.
right.
I was, I'm strict at times, but then at the same time too, that may be one of the hardest things that is the hardest thing.
So do you think one would take it harder than the other? Because what I'm kind of hearing
Yes.
from you is KJ is the one that's into
He wanna
ROTC
he
and
wanna follow in my footsteps.
want to be just like daddy,
Only thing he's not doing is he run track,
right?
but he do not play football.
Right.
He's a little scrawny kid.
But D does play
Oh
football.
yeah, he's
So in a mentality, he's just like daddy as well.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he is. But I think because KJ being the younger one, I think he'll probably take it worse.
Right.
D will take it very, very hard, and he may not look at me the same way in the sense of me being that father figure mentality or that military gung ho type guy that he saw growing up.
Right.
So yeah, I think that'll be they'll both take it very hard. KJ more so than D.
Okay. Well, Greg, we're gonna have to go ahead and wrap up here today, but what I want you to think about is before our next visit is where do you see yourself, and we're not even going to venture a couple of years into the future, where do you see yourself in just the next few months? I want you to talk about and discuss your comfort level
Okay.
and think about how comfortable you would be, because the reason why I'm hearing you may be having sleep issues is because you're dealing with the fact that you got this kind of a secret away from every single person that's in your immediate family of origin, basically,
Mm-hmm.
as well as you're looking at the way the deacons and the church will view you, your church family, which sounds to be very important to you.
Yes.
You have peer groups that you're worried about how they're going to look at you, and they may ask you to step down.
Yes.
And of course, your marriage, above all, you're concerned whether or not it will come to an end.
Yes.
So what I want you to do is, before our next visit, is think about how comfortable you would be. Because if you're not going to be comfortable, it's going to be really difficult for you to rest. So we need to be able to put your mind at ease.
Okay.
So the cousin that you said would talk to you about it, maybe you want to discuss a little bit more about what to do next with your cousin, because that's your support circle.
Right.
And then just see if we can discuss later on and see how far you're willing to go with what it takes to get you comfortable.
Okay. I can do that.
All right? And we'll discuss this again in a few weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
Greg, I really do thank you again for coming in and sharing this, because I know this is very difficult to discuss, but I want you to know you're not alone in the world.
Okay.
And I'll be here to talk to you about whatever. You know, my office hours are between 9 and 5 o'clock, but we do have the answering service. So if it's an emergency, you know you can reach me, and you already have my cell phone number for that.
Yes.
All right? Is there anything else you'd like to discuss while you're here today?
That'll be all right. Thank you for listening.
All right. Thank you for coming in, Greg.
Thank you.
All right.